people who try to shut you up, and greedy. When someone tries to shut you up, diminish you, or put you down, and greed. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne, and I'm coming on here today. I just finished my 5-mile run, and it was so awesome. I'm going to show you what a beautiful, beautiful day we have had out here. It is absolutely breathtaking. And so I went out and I got my 5-mile run, and it was just wonderful. And there were a few people out on the trail. Of course, we all keep our 6 feet of personal space. And I wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about a couple of subjects. And normally I do a video on one subject. But today I'm kind of splitting it up a little bit and doing it on two. One is greed, and one is when someone tries to shut you up or diminish you or put you down. Well, a couple days ago, I had a couple comments, 2 comments to be specific, from 2 different people that I was not even really familiar with on my channel. And they both put me down in different ways. One told me that I was privileged. Well, if y'all know my history, I grew up very poor, and I share that all the time about how we lived poor and how we did it well. And I sometimes make light of it, but talking about how my brother and I drove in our old car in reverse because that was the only direction it would drive in. And so this person put me down. And then another person she just ripped into me, and she said that all I do is talk about negative topics and all of that. And so of course these people are now blocked from commenting, and the reason for that is I don't believe we should ever tolerate any kind of verbal abuse. And everything I express on here is how I live my life. I don't tell anyone how to live their life. I don't give suggestions. I don't give advice. I just share with you how I see different topics. My channel is about being happy. My channel is about promoting your best life and living your best life to the best of your ability. And everyone has a different concept of what living their best life is. And so that kind of threw me back, and normally I don't let comments throw me back because they don't, and it really didn't throw me back, but I knew right away these people were jealous and trying to put me down and trying to diminish me and try to shut me up from my topics that my channel is really about. I come on here and promote happiness. I promote living your best life. And part of living your best life is being able to deal with the negativity in life. There's a reality that there is negative in life, and a lot of that has to do with other people. A lot of wonderful people doing wonderful things in life, but there are also people that create havoc in other people's lives. And often I talk about that. I talk about how I see those situations and how I handle them. You will likely handle them different. You may handle them the same. I don't know. I don't give advice. I just tell you how I live my life. And so this person really, really tried to diminish me. I caught on to it right away, but it kind of threw me in a very subtle sort of way. And I switched over to just talking about very lighthearted topics, which I also do on a regular basis. I tell you stories from my life. I tell you funny things that happen. I tell you all kinds of funny things and light things because I think we have to come up for air as well. But part of my channel is talking about the deeper subjects, and like jealousy and greed and nasty people and toxic people. I love to talk about all those subjects. I'm not an expert on them. I'm just sharing with you how I live my life, how I see those things, and how I deal effectively with those areas of life. And so that person tried to shut me up. And I think we have to remember that whether we're on virtual media, and as your channels begin to grow and they begin to get big, you're going to deal with all kinds of personalities, and many of them are dysfunctional. And also, people will just try to put you down because they're jealous, they're unhappy. Some people see things totally different. Some people just don't get it. They just don't get it in life. And I thought, you know what? My channel is about sharing a little bit of everything. Yesterday, I shared with you all how I did my garden, how I'm doing a garden with my two sons, and I are planting a garden. So not all my topics are heavy topics at all, but some of them are, because, well, we all deal with people at work that are not always nice. We can deal with jealousy. We can deal with greed. We can deal with, crisis in life. And so I talk about all that because so many people are going through so many things. And I've been through so many things. And so I share those things. I share how to live one's best life. The one person put me down for telling people how to live their best life. Well, I'm not telling you how to live your best life. I'm telling you how I live my best life. And this person just, so people like that don't belong in my life. They don't belong on my channel, at least not being able to comment. They don't belong on my pages. They don't belong on my virtual media. They don't belong in my real life. And I immediately identify them and block them from being able to interact with me. Okay. Last night I went on someone else's live, and I kind of quietly got off rather soon because I really like this person, but I kind of feel like sometimes people are stirring the pot. They're creating things on their channels, their pages, in their in-person life. There are pot stirrers. I call them pot stirrers. They create havoc, and they often do it very subtly. They try to pull people in, like, let me help you. And they're really not trying to help you. They're just trying to stir the pot a little bit more. And I've known people like that in person that were pot stirrers. And, there's better ways to get attention. There's better ways to get positive attention, or you can get negative attention. I always told my kids you can get one or the other, negative attention or positive attention. But positive attention is the only kind to really get, because it's positive based upon wonderful things you are doing or promoting. Negative attention is like, oh, it's so bad, and this is such a crisis, and all this drama, and it's negativity, and people eventually or soon run the other way. So I believe in getting positive attention. So let me talk a little bit about greed. Greed is something that some people have. I think it's a flaw, just like jealousy, just like resentment. I believe that if someone has the resentment flaw or the jealousy flaw, it's going to be ongoing unless they identify it and truly try to make a change. Because some people, we all have personality flaws, but some are very significant and affect relationships. And greed is one of them. It's just like jealousy. It's just like envy. It's just like bickering. It's just, some people bicker. They love to do that. That's the only way they can relate, is to bicker. They can't relate on a normal, healthy conversation because they don't know how. They're not comfortable with it. And so they bicker. And it's a way of avoiding their best life also, by bickering. And so anyhow, greed. People can be greedy. They want the whole pie. They just don't want one piece of the pie. They want that whole pie, or they want 7 out of 8 pieces, when everybody really should only be getting one piece. Now, I'm not saying we should ever not get our one piece of pie. If we have a piece of pie coming to us, that's our piece of pie, okay? And someone else does not really have the right to take that piece of pie. But the greedy person wants all of it. They want as much as they can grab it, and they don't care who they take it from. Greedy people are out there. They're out there in the workplace. They're out there in church. They're out there in the neighborhood. They're out there everywhere. And for me, I don't want anything to do with a greedy person. I love to be around generous people because I'm a generous person. But generosity in and of itself is another subject matter that needs to be done right. Not everybody should we be generous with. I'm not going to be generous with the greedy person. I'm not going to be generous with the lazy person who can do their own work. I'm not going to be generous with a mean person. I'm going to be generous to the right people that deserve my generosity. and in the right amounts. I don't want to deplete my life by overgiving. And, I remember many years ago, I lived in an apartment complex in Southern California. And there was this man who was trying to flirt with me and he started to try to buy me things like a television and stuff like that. I didn't let him do it. And what I noticed is he went around, and in order to get attention from people, or they're liking him, he would buy them things, and he ended up with nothing. He ended up bankrupt, and because he depleted himself, he overgave, and he gave it to the wrong people. And so generosity has to be done right. It has to be done with the right people, in the right manner, and in the right amounts. Okay, and greedy people I want no part of, because it's a personality characteristic that's going to go on and on and on. I grew up with this woman, knowing this woman. I shouldn't say I grew up with her. I grew up knowing this woman, family friend, and let me tell you, she was so greedy. If you owed her literally a penny, she would argue to get that penny. I mean, a penny, literally a penny. She was so greedy. And that greedy is based upon insecurity. And so, it was very uncomfortable to be around her. And everybody called her greedy. She didn't care. She was greedy. I don't want to ever be considered that. I don't like that term. Okay. And so getting back to people that try to shut you up, there are always going to be people that don't like what you say, that don't agree with what you say, people that are jealous of what you say, they're jealous of you, and they're going to try to shut you up. And for me personally, I don't let that happen. I acknowledge what they're doing, and I separate myself from them, and I continue to do what's right for my life. Well, from my house to yours, may God bless y'all, and I'll talk to y'all soon again. Bye-bye.